since Dr. Ruchi has started. And since then, she has been doing a phenomenal job connecting people across the globe and supporting them with the drone ecosystem. So once again, congratulations to you, Dr. Ruchi, as well for continuing the same thing this year, and hope you continue many years ahead. So yeah. So good evening, everybody. I am Yash Patel from the Bombay Flying Club, and I'll be talking about the regulatory framework here in India, and like maybe we can talk about something across the globe as well, because few things remain constant. So we will talk about how things are happening and how the things have been going up over here. With the same thing, it has something become like, we are somebody who has seen three generations of rules coming up in India. So also becomes like when we started off, we had something known as CAR, that is Civil Aviation Requirements. From Civil Aviation Requirements, we came to US Rules 2021, which was made indigenously for drones. But from then again, we shifted this year to Drone Rules 2021, which are well more liberalized and, like, opening the gates for everybody to enter Indian market, as well as for the Indians to carry on their manufacturing, as well as to carry out and make their own flying schools and so on. So the thing is, I'll just give you a brief comparison between all three of them and why we had to shift, which was for a better, a better welfare of the drone ecosystem. So it turns out to be, first, when we started way back in 2018, when we had very few things on drones and few applications. So when we started at that time, it was like 2018 came up the drone rules for the first time in India, governed by the CAR Section 3 Series X Part 1, where the requirements were laid down by the regulators for the flying schools to conduct flying training. And that is when we decided to get into the licensing regime as per the ICAO. So that is when we started in India. That is where the first step we took ahead. And along with that, we tried to make a technology named as no permission, no takeoff, which was a safety feature for everybody. So no permission, no takeoff was one of the solutions that could help the regulator track the drones and keep a record of the flying exercises happening nearby. So after that, the things that happened were, how do you take that thing ahead, and how do you get into the compliance. So we were amongst the few companies in India, few flying clubs in India, who were able to comply to these laws. So the only hurdle we faced at that time was the availability of drones, because there weren't a lot of Indian manufacturers making drone. They were making drones, but they weren't making it as per the training specifications that we require. So that was the first hurdle that we faced. But later on, we, as a technologist, we made our own drones. And since we made our own drones, we got the approval with NPNT and everything, and we were successful in setting up our flying school. But now the thing is, when we come to the regulatory aspect, everything was compared with the manned aircraft ecosystem, and definitely that is important for us as well, because like how I term it is, we are actually in the early 80s of computers, if you see to it with drones. And because of that thing, we are entering the manned aircraft ecosystem. So if you go to see, when aircrafts were newly introduced, there were only birds who were flying in the sky. There weren't anybody else who used to fly in the sky. So when aircraft entered their ecosystem, the birds were new to it. They had to take some time to get adapted towards it. And for the same thing, now we come up with the drones, that drones have to be adapted by the manned aircraft ecosystem, because safety is the major concern over here, and we do not want to breach the safety part in any way. So it can be like, because of that thing, we came up like various technologies, various rules, regulations to maintain the separation with the manned aircraft ecosystem, and also to safeguard the manned aircraft manned aircraft airspace from the unmanned aircraft airspace. And eventually, if you go to see today, if I switch on to the digital sky platform that India has made, we'll talk about it as well. I can see a huge difference. I do not know like how many people are here from India, but people all over from India who had switched to digital sky platform way back in 2018, and now It is a huge difference, and that difference is a phenomenal difference that the regulators have created over here. So, way back in 2018, we had something known as the CAR Section 3 Series X Part 1, which covered the training facilities, training exercises, and everything required to be into the training ecosystem and bring in the licensing regime. Yes, there was something for the manufacturers as well, that manufacturers had to comply to a set of metrics that had certain requirements laid down by the regulators from safety perspective and as well as the quality of the product. So once they were able to, once a manufacturer, example, considering me as a manufacturer, just for an example, you considering me as a manufacturer, I had to comply to that matrix. Once I comply to that matrix, only after that it is going to be like I'll be getting a permission and a certificate of airworthiness to make the drone fly in the Indian skies, and I'll be able to register it with the Indian regulators. So things were getting pretty much streamlined at that time, but then we came up to the regulatory challenge of the species, that is the red zone, green zone, and the yellow zone. And secondly, we were still being like, getting up into the governance of the aircraft act. Even still we are in some parts, but it is completely now with the drone rules 2021, which came up as a complete different thing altogether in India. So then eventually we came up to something known as UAS rules 2020. So UAS rules 2021 was something like, where there was a provision for everybody to become a manufacturer, a research and development organization, to pull up something known as a drone port. Yes, drone ports are the future right now that we have, and that is what we have to see as a longer picture. So then it came up to was a drone port. Later on, it came up as a manufacturer, what the manufacturer has to do, a flying school, research and development, and so on. So there was a provision for each and every person to cater to each and everything they wanted to. And to cater for everything you want, there was a set of requisite eligibility, there was a procedure, and there was a bit of paperwork that you needed to follow. But that became a bit complex, like hindering the R&D facilities in India. So then again, like we in India are like, becoming a very industry friendly regulators over here. So we approached the regulators as as a unity, and we told them the problems that we are facing. So that was the best rule that I had seen in India, after the CAR, because it had provision which catered for everybody, from an individual to an organization to a government body or a corporate. Be it anybody, everybody was taken care of, and there was a set of procedure to be followed by everybody in India. So yes, during that time we also had the zones defined, but they weren't that interactive. Like it was just from the airports and few vital installations as measured. And again, there were few safety features that you would require in the drones. So in India, we classify drone as nano, micro, small, medium, large as per their weight category. And as per the weight category of drone you manufacture, it needs to have certain safety features embedded into it. So those safety features that are embedded into it depends upon the class of airspace you wanted to fly in, and also depends upon the category of UAS you are making. So that made the process a bit tedious, but yeah, again, we didn't want it to breach the safety aspect, like in the Indian ecosystem. So after the safety and everything was considered, everything went good enough. After that, what we did was when we as a unity went to the regulators and told the problems that we faced. So after that, what the regulators did was they came up with something known as Drone Rules 2021, which I'll definitely share it with Dr. Ruchi, and Dr. Ruchi can share it on the group as well. So like here, there was a complete new directorate made for drones by the regulators known as the Drone Directorate, where the people are like reachable, and there is a solution if you approach them for sure. The new Digital Sky platform was made up. The new Digital Sky platform, you can just log on to www.digitalsky.gov.in, and that is a website which gives you one-stop solution for everything. Few parts of it is still under development, but like most of the things are ready. The best part in that website is the interactive maps that anybody can access to. So interactive maps are something that suppose I live in an area right now. In that area I want to find out whether I can fly drones or not. And for the same thing, it has become very much easy for me to just log on to the website, open the interactive maps, and search a place. It will take me to a location, whatever I have searched, and then you can come to know whether you are in the red zone, green zone, or yellow zone. So talking about zones in India, red zones are vital installations, airports, and everything. From the red zones to 5 kilometers is the inner yellow circle, and to 8 kilometers is the outer yellow circle. So in the inner yellow circle, if you want to fly, then you need permissions from the ATC. Red zones, definitely you cannot fly, no option into that thing. And if you want to fly in the outer yellow zone, like beyond the 200 feet AGL, then yes, you need to file a permission, or you need to take permission from the ATC. And the best thing is, to fly in green zone, you are free. You do not require any permission. You can just go and fly. So that was a major step that we as a country took while categorizing these zones, making them public. And these zones are interactive in nature as well. That sometimes, due to some calamity or some VIP movement, a zone can be marked as a temporary red zone so that nothing can fly over there. And after the red zone is after the activity or the movement is over, you can convert it into green zone. So yes, the local authorities are given the power to do this thing as well, which made things very much clear for everybody, and things were going on pretty good. Uh, so now, as per the drone rules, the paperwork that was involved in the US rules 2021 is cut to half. I don't even mean half; it is less than half now. So there are just 5 or 6 paperworks. The process have been streamlined for an individual and an organization both. So if you comply to the rules and regulations right now, you are able to do a lot of things in India using drones. I would like to add one thing over here, that considering pandemic, yes, it has harmed everybody, but for the drone industry in India, pandemic has created a boom where, we learned to use drones for various applications. Like, I remember last year in the same conference we were talking about locust, where drones were used to mitigate locust attack in India. So that was in the middle of a pandemic, where, the regulators being so supportive, that people were given permissions, and from the regulators and online, to help the nation to mitigate the locust attack. And people reached out from all over the country to make the use of drones and get things going with the locust attack. So things were pretty much good over here with the drone rules 2021. Few more things that I would like to highlight is the zones are now classified. You can fly drones without permissions in green zones. Being an R&D organization, you do not require an approval from the regulators. So if you are creating something for R&D, then yes, you can do it freely. You can contribute to the innovation market in India. And one more thing that turned up is, 2 3 years back, when any venture capitalist or anybody who wanted to come to India and invest into drones, one major drawback for them was the regulatory aspect. That the regulatory aspect is not that clear as of now. So then how will we invest? But this drone rules 2021 have created such a boom that there are a lot of companies investing in India in drones. Many companies are taking over other big companies, be it for software related or hardware related, and we are moving with the things over here in India. So yes, things are moving on pretty much nicely and calmly. And with the same thing that we have come up with a lot of liberalization in the rules, where anybody can approach the government as well, and you get a solution, a fair solution out of which you can use to get things cracking and make your own organization or a startup. Even for flying schools, right now we are working on many things that are contributing towards acceptance of the syllabus internationally, where anybody from India having an Indian license can go to any foreign country and get an approval for the same. And for the same thing, we have been also working on things where a foreign national can come to India, train for a particular period of time, and then can operate drones in India. So even that is something which has been turning up very good. where we were first reluctant in India to keep it to Indian nationals. But now anybody, any person can come from anywhere across the world and get trained in India, and the license issued by India will also be accepted by the countries of the contracting states of ICAO. So yes, that also opens a lot of gates in India. And with the same thing, if you go to see manufacturing, we have come up with something known as the Quality Council of India. So the Quality Council of India is running a scheme in which like you have to comply to the matrix that they have given, and if you comply to that matrix, they will issue they will refer your drone to the ministry and the DECA. And with the same thing, y'all will be given permissions as a manufacturer to start and like manufacture the drone ahead. So that is how things are happening in India, pretty much smooth and fast. And the industry is booming currently, from BVLOS to a lot of applications. Like, yeah, usually I do not take a session using my cell phone, but it would be good for me to even say that thing, that right now I am in the middle of a BVLOS trial where we are trying to deliver vaccines using drones. So yes, things are moving on pretty faster. Where if you go to see in 2018 and 19, we had to take a lot of permissions to do such trials and give the report to DECA. But later on, with the liberalization in the rules, the regulators made things so easy that with a simple letter paperwork and showing them the project report, you can start your BVLS operations. And at the end, and completing your experiments of 100 hours, you need to submit that report to the to the DGCA, so that they can formulate new rules and regulations for it, and you can contribute something for the nation building. So yes, things have worked out pretty much faster, pretty much good in India with drones, and it is becoming very fruitful for us as well. So like anything, any questions that you all have for me to ask, or anything you want me to talk about more on the regulatory aspects, then yes, you can definitely unmute, or I guess the co-host can take questions and tell me how do we go about it.
Good evening, Captain Yash. This is Amrit here. So there's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
With something like only 9 flight schools in India, how will you manage upsurge in drone training for the rapid escalation of pilot needs?
So right now there are 9 schools in India, but in the background, yes, there are a lot of schools who have applied for permissions, and India is giving rapid permissions for flying schools as well, without compromising on the quality and the safety while flying. So yes, if you go to see 2022, the number 9 is going to be increased to a better good digit, and the graph is going to go upwards, that we can search the needs of pilots in India with the training. So, like when it comes to such things, I also would like to add up on a small thing, that there is a project going on here in India, just a use case, that from Survey of India, where they are surveying the lands of every village in India, and they are digitalizing the land records and everything. For the same, like Survey of India is using approved drones, and for that they need a trained pilot. So it isn't that even these 9 flying schools aren't able to cater to it, but yes, we definitely it makes the process a bit slower. But yes, we have been catering for such pilots and flying schools across, where we have been creating trainers, and we have been creating certifications for them, and be pretty good, so that everybody of us can come together as a flying school organization and get the number satisfied for India, catering to a large number of UAV pilots to be trained. I hope
Thank you,
your
Captain
I
Yash, for
answered your
answering.
question. Yeah,
Yes, I have a question for you.
sure. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Yes. This is Adarsh from Bangalore. We have spoken on few occasions earlier.
Okay.
My question is presently what the DGCA, or what you're training the students,
Hmm.
and what the DGCA license is being given. To what category of drones is that license been given?
So currently, it is in India that we licenses can be issued for the category you are trained on. So suppose if you are trained on if I'm trained on a small category of drone, then I'll be getting a license of small category drones issued by the regulator. So the process goes the flying school from where you have completed your flying will be issuing you a training completion certificate, and the training completion certificate will be having a unique number which will be having its DGCA approval as well. So once you get the training number and everything in place, after that, when we give you the training record, so training record consists of three things. That is your logbook, your training certificate, and your skill test report. So every document of yours will be having a class and a type of of RPS. Suppose it can be class, it can be of small category, and it can be a rotary wing craft. That means you will be considered to fly any drone from 2 to 25 kg in the rotary wing section. So right now we are also working on minimizing this thing to category 1, category 2, category 3, which might be soon coming up in India as well. And as per those categories, the categories have been more streamlined in VLOS, BVLOS, and other flyings. Specifically to cater for training, a pilot is only supposed to fly the drone that he has been trained on. I mean, not the type, but what I mean is the weight category he has been trained on, and it can be a multi-rotor or a fixed wing. So yes, it depends upon what infrastructure and what equipment does the flying school have, and what are you trained on. If you are trained on a medium category drone, then yes, the regulator may issue you a license of medium category drone if you submit them all the relevant documents of the medium category drone you are trained on. So
And
your license will purely depend upon what you are trained on and what category have you been trained on.
and presently in India, what category has been most of the schools are being offered?
So there are a lot of schools offering small, medium, large category of RPS. Large are not so much in India right now, but yes, some of them are giving medium category. Some of them are also giving VTOL. But then again, it is only a few of them, not everybody. But commonly, if you go to see, everybody has a small category training happening in India right now.
Thank you, Yash. Thank you very much.
And also to add one more thing, that if you go to see, when I talk about small category, that is up to 25 kg, that thing, mostly suffice everything that you want to do using in the drone industry, except one or two applications. Otherwise, other than those one or two applications, every application is sufficed in category small. So be it mapping, photography, agriculture, it can be surveillance, inspection. So 25 kgs is a big number over which you can spray. Even few of the agricultural drones fall under 24 kg, 23 kg. So yes, small category suffice to the thing.
Thank you. Got it.
Captain Yash, another small question. Like
Yeah.
in terms of aircrafts, we have AMEs who do the maintenance of aircrafts. So
Yes.
similar perspective is coming for drones or not?
A similar perspective is coming for drones. I guess there is soon going to be a document published over the Digital Sky platform, which will be having a provision that as a flying school or as a manufacturer, you can open your own maintenance centers as well. And being a manufacturer in India, you have to keep a maintenance facility with you. So like we have AMEs, definitely for those maintenance facilities, we would need maintenance operators and everybody where the technicians, operators, and the engineers can fix a drone and can use it as a preventive maintenance or scheduled maintenance, because maintenance plays an important role. Like, I'm sorry, I do not know if somebody is covering this thing, but I'll still talk on it, that maintenance plays an important role when you want to come into the drone industry. Suppose I have to do a mapping project of 1000 square kilometers. In that case, the project is not for one day, the project is going to take weeks. So I have to maintain my drone and keep it operative in a manner that even if I fly, say, 50 square kilometers today, to cover another 50 square kilometers tomorrow efficiently, my drone should also be capable of doing that thing. And that thing comes from maintenance, that how actively you maintain your drone in a to keep it in a manner that it is serving you efficiently throughout your project. So yes, AMEs do play an important role, and even in that thing, there are organizations which will be set up as the maintenance organizations, or flying schools will keep maintenance organizations into them where you can go and get your drone maintained, because maintenance also needs to happen in a regularized manner where the records of the parts and everything has to be preserved. So yes.
Thank you, Captain Yash. I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Ruchi.
Thank you very much, Yash, for your amazing talk. Wherever you are, I really hope that you do your amazing work wherever you are. And everyone, you can continue the questions on the chat and discuss with Captain Yash, and he'll be very happy to take the questions. And do connect with him on LinkedIn, on email that we have connected on the conference web page as well.